Hey there, it's Sara, and I'm coming at you with a shorty episode. And today I'm going to be talking all about the first 10 days of being alcohol free. And these are going to be some things that almost no one tells you. I am going to talk about what happens to your body physically as you quit drinking. We're going to touch on the dopamine crash. We'll touch on sleep and even what happens with blood sugar and sugar cravings. These are some of those things that maybe you don't hear about all the time because oftentimes being alcohol free is glamorized, right? You hear about all of the good stuff. And I can say as a content creator that I'm actually guilty of sharing the good stuff because there is so much good stuff. But there's also some stuff that I want you to be aware of. I want you to be ready for. But no matter what, though, I want all of this information to empower you. If you have been thinking about taking an alcohol-free journey, this information is going to fill you up and make it so you are ready. Because in the second part of this episode, I'm going to give you 6 strategies to survive and thrive in those first 10 days. So once you listen to this episode, you are going to be feeling so ready to start your alcohol-free journey. But before we get into what happens in the first 10 days of being alcohol-free, I want to invite you to something special. If you're ready to not just quit drinking, but actually transform your life, join the waitlist for the next round of the Push to 100. It'll be starting on September 12th, and early enrollment will open to the members of the waiting list on August 22nd. I'm only taking 30 people into this round of the Push to 100, so everyone gets individual support from me. Just head to nomorewasteddays.co/100 waiting list, and that link is also in the show notes. This will ensure that you can be one of the first people to apply when the doors open. Okay, so what actually happens in those first 10 days? First, let's talk about how alcohol is leaving your system. Within about 72 hours, alcohol is fully metabolized and leaving your bloodstream. That means that after 3 days, technically, you're alcohol-free, but that doesn't mean your body is back to normal. Your nervous system, hormones, and sleep cycles have all been impacted by alcohol use, and they're going to take a little while to rebalance. If you were drinking regularly, your body was in a constant tug of war trying to balance out the sedative effects of alcohol. And now your body's having to find equilibrium, which can lead to mild withdrawal symptoms like headaches, fatigue or restlessness, irritability or mood swings, nausea or digestive issues, or muscle tension or body aches. These withdrawal symptoms can be mild or they can be extreme. If you ever feel like you're leaning more towards the extreme side of those withdrawal symptoms, I want you to seek medical attention. That way you can safely detox from alcohol. I do want you to know, though, that most people I work with are able to quit at home, but I have to put that disclaimer out there because it's very important that you take this withdrawal period seriously. Again, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm just saying this to empower you so you know what's coming. All right, let's talk about the dopamine crash. This is something that I talk about a lot with my date makers, and I feel like I talk about it a lot on this podcast as well. But when you drink, alcohol floods your brain with dopamine. It creates a surge of pleasure or relief, especially in stressful moments. After you quit, your brain is temporarily depleted. It hasn't yet learned how to create dopamine on its own again, and this is going to take some time. This can show up as apathy or low motivation, lack of joy or interest in usual activities, cravings, your brain is begging for a quick dopamine fix, or just feeling off or emotionally flat. I want you to know that this is not how your whole alcohol-free journey is going to be. This is a temporary time. This is what happens when poison is leaving your body. Even if you don't think so, your body has become dependent on alcohol for certain things like creating its dopamine. Don't worry, you're gonna learn how to create dopamine in other healthy ways. But if in the beginning you're kind of going, this isn't very exciting, I thought being alcohol-free was gonna be a game changer. I thought it was gonna change my life and everything was gonna be exciting again. I promise it's going to get there, but it may not happen in those first 10 days because of this dopamine depletion. Just remember, this is not a personality flaw. This is not your fault. It's your brain in recovery. Now let's talk about sleep. When I first quit drinking, my sleep actually improved really, really quickly. I can't remember if it happened in the first 10 days, but I honestly think it did. This is what happens for a lot of people. Sleep gets worse before it gets better. Many people assume that sleep will improve right away, especially if there's content creators like me who experienced that, right? But for you, it may be totally different. In the first 10 days, it does often get worse. But again, I want you to know this is not how the alcohol-free life is going to be for you. This is a temporary moment. Why does this happen? Because alcohol interferes with REM sleep and acts as a sedative. Without it, your body has to relearn how to sleep naturally. This may take some time, and some common experiences for people are light or broken sleep in the beginning, intense or vivid dreams because you're having a REM sleep rebound. Maybe you'll experience difficulty falling or staying asleep, or even waking up feeling groggy even after a full night. This can all feel really disorienting, and I even have some people tell me, I thought I was going to feel really good. I still feel like I'm kind of hungover each morning. When is it going to get better? Just know that the better part is coming. You're going to learn things like better sleep hygiene for yourself, and your body is going to learn how to be a body without alcohol and get an awesome night's sleep without it. But just knowing that this is part of the healing process can help you stay calm. Oftentimes I work with people who will say, I thought my sleep was going to get better, and after 5 days it didn't, so I went back to drinking. And I'm always like, no, give it time, because I promise it's going to get better. You just have to give it time. In my case, I was a drinker from my late teens to when I turned 40. That was a long period of time for my body to learn how to react with alcohol and learn how to sleep with alcohol, learn how to create dopamine with alcohol. So if I drank for 20 plus years, I know I've got to give myself a little bit more time than just 5 days if things aren't going my way at the beginning of my journey. I want you to feel that way too. It's going to take time, but the longer you stay the course, the better it will get. Lastly, I don't know if you've ever heard people talk about sugar cravings when they first quit drinking. This actually didn't happen to me right in the beginning. This actually happened to me more like 30 days into my journey. And in all honesty, I feel like it has lasted my whole journey. But I will say it is not something I have actively worked on. I have been a person who has really thought sugar is the least of my worries at this point. Sugar's not going to land me with a DUI. Sugar's not going to make it so I get arrested. Sugar's not going to lead me to forget a whole night and then feel totally hungover the next day and waste a whole day. For me, sugar is harm reduction, but it is something that I am currently working on, and it is difficult. But what I want you to know is alcohol causes your blood sugar to spike and crash, and your body gets really used to this rhythm. So when you stop drinking, your blood sugar can drop, and that leads to intense cravings for sugar, carbs, or anything comforting. That was me in my first days of being alcohol-free. And also, food tasted so good. It was like my taste buds were finally working again because I wasn't numbing them. And I was also thinking, I used to consume a lot of empty calories with the beer and the wine that I drank. So I was kind of like, why not indulge? Now, with this blood sugar roller coaster that you're on when you quit drinking, you may also experience energy crashes in the afternoon. And you might also be experiencing mood swings that are tied into hunger. Just know that this is not about willpower. It's your body trying to stabilize. Please honor those cravings. I'm not going to tell you what to eat. I know everybody eats differently, but just be ready with some sweets on hand. Be ready with fruit on hand. I love frozen raspberries with a little bit of Cool Whip on top of them in the evening. I also love ice cream sometimes in the evening. So I'm going to tell you to feed those cravings how you see fit for your body. You know yourself best. I'm not going to say just eat fruit so you're having healthy options. You choose what's right for you, and maybe you're like me and you decide that sugar is your best form of harm reduction. But now you know why this is happening, and I think that that is so important. For me, knowing all this stuff really made me stay motivated to stay on my journey because I didn't want to put my body through this dopamine crash again and this blood sugar roller coaster again. I also wanted my sleep to stay awesome, And I didn't want my body to have to go through those first 72 hours of being alcohol free. This actually helped me get past those first 3 days and then get past the next 10 days. And I thought, I'm not doing all of that again. So now you know what may be happening in those first 10 days of being alcohol free. Let's talk about 6 strategies to survive and thrive in the first 10 days. First, I want you to think about eating protein and complex carbs every few hours. This is going to keep your blood sugars stable, and this is key to reducing cravings and emotional highs and lows. Protein is going to help you feel fuller longer, while complex carbs give your brain the slow-release glucose it needs to function. So what are some meal ideas or snack ideas that look like this? You could have hard-boiled eggs and a piece of fruit. And I'm just saying that it only takes a tiny, tiny bit of mayonnaise to turn a hard-boiled egg into a deviled egg if that floats your boat more. You could have lentil soup with whole grain toast for a meal. Amy's brand makes an amazing lentil soup that's canned, so it's quick and simple. There's also an awesome lentil soup option from Trader Joe's. You can do Greek yogurt with oats and nuts. One of my favorite breakfasts is having oatmeal, and then I heat up frozen berries, and then I have Greek yogurt. I put them all separate in the bowl, and then I kind of eat from each section of the bowl in different combinations. I usually end up stirring up the oatmeal and the berries together, and then kind of dip into the Greek yogurt the whole time. I sweeten it up with some pure maple syrup, and I put slivered almonds over the top. It is truly one of my favorite breakfasts. Lastly, you can do a veggie stir fry and then pick a lean protein to go with that, like tofu or chicken, and then have it with quinoa or brown rice. That is actually my favorite dinner, is having veggie stir fry with tofu over rice. And it's kind of funny because the rest of my family really doesn't care for the meal, but I love it so much. Thinking of eating this way is going to reduce the chances of the 4 p.m. sugar crashes. And that's normally when I was having the most intense cravings for alcohol, so keeping my body balanced made that time easier to get through. Number 2, I want you to front load your mornings with nourishment. Now, this is not just about food and water. This is about your dopamine. Your dopamine and decision-making energy are strongest earlier in the day. So why don't we boost that up? Create a predictable, peaceful morning routine to anchor your nervous system. Here are some things you can do in your morning routine to boost this for yourself. You can go outside for sunlight within 30 minutes of waking. Drink a full glass of water or lemon water right when you wake up. Do 5 to 10 minutes of journaling, stretching, or meditation. And set a simple intention for yourself for the day. Something like, I take care of myself today. Or today I'm choosing to be alcohol free. You don't need to win the morning or feel like you've conquered a million things. You just need a rhythm. Now, adding on to that, number 3, I want you to add healthy dopamine boosters. Help your brain relearn how to feel good without alcohol. Remember how I talked about how alcohol increased your dopamine, but did it in an unnatural and unhealthy way, so now your dopamine receptors are feeling kind of low? Let's add some natural dopamine boosts into our day. This can include cold showers, if that's something that you like. Some people do this right at the end of their shower for a quick dopamine boost. You can add in movement or exercise. Even 10 minutes will give you a dopamine boost. Listen to your favorite music, take some dance breaks, get sunlight, or do some grounding activities like walking around in your grass barefoot, and figure out ways you can incorporate laughter and play into your everyday life. I incorporate laughter into my everyday life by listening to funny podcasts. It really helps me, or giving myself little 10-minute breaks to scroll reels on Instagram. These small moments build momentum and help rewire your reward pathways. For number 4, I want you to plan the 5 to 9 p.m. window, whatever your witching hour is for you. Now, for me, this actually happened from 3 to 7. So when I say 5 to 9, you may be like, actually, that happens at a different time for me. That's fine. Know when your time is, and I want you to plan for this. Most cravings hit during this window. It's when you're tired, you're hungry, and you're used to reaching for a drink to unwind. Don't go into this time without a plan. Instead, I want you to think about prepping a satisfying dinner during this time, making a fun mocktail or hot tea, scheduling a walk or even a bath, or even taking a moment to watch a show that you love. Lastly, you can use this time to call a friend or text a friend and have communication happening. The key is anticipation. What can you do to feel supported at that time? And it's something that you're going to be looking forward to. That way, when the time comes, you're excited and you're not feeling like you want to reach for a drink. Number 5, I want you to track your wins and celebrate micro milestones. In early sobriety, every day is a big deal. I cannot even tell you how much it kills me when somebody says something like, I'm only 3 days along. You are in the hardest part. You need to give yourself credit for that because you are doing something amazing. So I want you to use a journal or an app or sticky notes or even voice memos to record how you felt each day. Day 1, how'd you feel? Day 2, how'd you feel? What cravings came up and how did you handle them? And then what made you proud that day? Every single day, you should be writing down at least one thing you did because you chose not to drink that day. That is a way to celebrate those micro milestones. These reflections are going to help you build self-trust and resilience, and it's going to make it so you're excited for the next day to be alcohol-free. Number 6, and this is so important to my fellow introverts out there, don't isolate. Instead, get connected. Shame and isolation are breeding grounds for relapse. Even if it's just one person, let someone know what you're doing. I quit drinking with my husband, so I was able to bounce ideas off of him. I was able to say, is this happening to you? This is happening for me. But I will tell you, I wanted more connection than that. So I found a Facebook group and I started finding sober content creators. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. That's what the Daymakers can be for you. If you're looking for a group, try out the Daymakers community. It gives you access to our private text community. We have a book club each month and there's weekly group coaching calls. It is such a cool way to come together with a little sober family. And there's so many people who get exactly what you're going through. Being witnessed and encouraged and cheered on really does make all the difference. I want you to know that these first 10 days are a recalibration. Your body, brain, and spirit are detoxing from more than just alcohol. They're learning how to live again. And it's okay if you feel off or low, emotional, or tired. It's not failure if you're feeling that way. You're healing. I want you to stick with it. The clarity, peace, and energy are on the other side, and they are so worth it. And remember, if you're ready for more than just not drinking and want deep support, structure, and community for 100 days, join the Push to 100 waitlist. Spots are limited, and I open them up to the waitlist members first. Head to nomorewasteddays.co/100 waiting list, and remember that link is also in the show notes, and let's do this together. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and if you enjoyed it, please write a review if you haven't already. I wanted to share a review that was recently shared on Apple Podcasts from Jag597. It said, love, 5 stars. I started my alcohol-free journey about 10 months ago, was looking to find some podcasts on sobriety, and this is seriously the best one. I love listening to the episodes on my walks. I love how honest and relatable they both are. They give such good advice, and each episode is just a solid reminder of why I'm doing what I'm doing. Thank you, ladies, so much. Thank you so much, Jag597, for that review. And please be sure to share your own review. And if I haven't read your review yet, don't worry, I am getting through them, and I promise I will try to get to all of the new ones that have been coming up. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to get on that Push to 100 waitlist, and I'll be in your ear in the next episode.